Hi folks. Today I'm going to talk about why I became a lawyer. It's a little bit of a personal video, but when I was a very little kid, like maybe 5, 6 years old, I used to live and there were across the street two kids who were twin brothers, and they were also both bullies. I can't remember their exact names. Let's call them Jim and Tim. And I remember having a fight, and my grandfather was there, and he said, his accent, he said, "You get hit, you get back up. You hit back harder. When you fall down, you get up." And that was a lesson to me in life. I remember, years later, I fell off a bike when I was learning to bike. And, my dad was like, "Get up. You don't stay down. We get up. You never stay down." And that's kind of been a motif for me throughout my life. I think that when I went to law school and became a prosecutor, I wanted to fight bullies. In other words, I wanted to fight the people who I thought were doing harm to others. And that's sometimes true. But as I matured as a prosecutor, I realized that sometimes the people who were accused weren't the wrong ones. And I was less interested, as I was when I was younger, in trying to put as many notches on my gun belt. And that's kind of the lesson of a mature prosecutor, because a mature prosecutor's job, or a prosecutor's job really, is not to get as many convictions as they can, but to try to see that justice is done. And as you know, I've switched sides. I'm a defense lawyer. And as a defense lawyer, I realize that, most of the people who come see me, they're not actually bad. They're people who either have been wrongly accused or made a mistake. And so for the people who have been wrongly accused, of course, our job is to fight for them and try to ensure that they are protected and that justice is done. What about other people? A lot of people come to me saying, "Look, I had a bad day, I screwed up." So what do we do there? Well, of course, what we do is we seek the maximum measure of mercy. And there's a variety of ways that we do this, but I'm fond of a Japanese art form that's called kitsuji. And kitsuji, they'll have a vase or something that's been broken and it's mended, and the mending looks like gold lightning. It's a pretty kind of thing. The reason I bring it up is that there's a philosophy behind kitsuji, which is that when something is broken, and when a vessel is broken, as most of us go through life becoming broken, that becomes part of its history, and that pottery and people are not to be disregarded, that there's a future for it. And so in Japan, that formerly broken vessel that's now put together with golden lacquer, well, that's part of its history, and it's considered beautiful in its own right, and that we can go forward from there. So for the people who come to me broken, we try to mend them. We try to get them on the right track and do what we can to protect them from the legal system. I think you have to realize that when you are accused of a crime, you have the full force and weight of the state of Alabama that's bearing down on you. And they have all of their resources, everything else, and you're the underdog and you need somebody to fight for you. I really enjoy doing that. My law partner and wife does something called expungements, and an expungement is a way of erasing a criminal record. So although we can't always succeed, sometimes we can put somebody back together, and almost as if it was a time machine, we can put them back to where they began, because Alabama law treats a case that's expunged as though it never happened. If you're in North Alabama and you'd like our help, just give us a call. Put the phone number below here. Thanks for watching. I'm attorney Andy Siegel.